Number 1. The forest that screams. There's a forest in Japan where silence is sacred, but if you listen closely, it's not so silent. They call it Aokigahara, the sea of trees. At the base of Mount Fuji, beneath a canopy of green, lies a place where compasses spin, GPS fails, and shadows stretch too long. Every year, hundreds enter. Not all come back. Some say it's the trees. Some say it's the wind. But the truth? It's darker. Rescuers follow tape trails to find the lost, but sometimes they find dolls nailed to trees. Strange structures made of bones, notes scribbled in desperation, and silence, always silence. But it doesn't stay that way. Because deep in the woods, there are voices. Screams, begging, weeping, and they never stop. Locals refuse to enter after dark. Even police only patrol the edge. Because the deeper you go, the more the forest comes alive. Legends say the forest feeds on sorrow, that it calls to the broken, that it never forgets a soul once taken. People have tried to cleanse it, hang wind chimes, say prayers, still the forest waits. Even hikers with no intent to die find themselves pulled into a trance. They walk off trail, they wander, they vanish, and the forest, it keeps growing, like it's swallowing secrets, one life at a time. Some scientists call it geographic disorientation. Others say it's magnetic fields. But how do you explain the whispers? The mimicked voices, the way you suddenly feel watched. Aokigahara isn't just haunted, it's hungry. It doesn't take with violence, it waits. And when you're weak enough, it welcomes you. Still feel like hiking? Number 2, the patient in room 313. Hospitals are where people go to be saved, to be healed, to come back from the brink. But in one forgotten wing of a long-abandoned medical center in Illinois, there's a room no one wants to remember, room 313. Back in the 1950s, the hospital was overcrowded, underfunded, and poorly maintained. Patients were packed into rooms. Nurses rotated through 16-hour shifts, and in the middle of it all was him. A patient no one could explain. He had no records, no known admission, no visitors, no pulse at times. Yet he was alive, barely. Staff called him the sleeper because he never moved, never spoke, never blinked. He lay in his bed in room 313, completely still except for his eyes. They were always open, watching, unblinking. Doctors tried everything: stimulation, injections, brain scans. Nothing worked. Every test came back inconclusive. And then strange things started happening. Nurses assigned to 313 began quitting without notice. Some wouldn't even go near the room. Others reported hearing whispering coming from behind the door, whispering in a language no one could identify. Lights flickered constantly around that room. Thermometers shattered. One nurse claimed she saw the patient standing beside his bed, even though he was strapped down and motionless seconds before. The hospital quietly closed the wing in 1961 after a fire broke out in the hallway outside, room 313. The origin of the fire was never found, and no other rooms were affected. Just that one section, just that room. When the building was abandoned decades later, urban explorers broke in to see what remained. Most of the hospital had been stripped clean by time, empty wards, crumbling ceilings. But when they reached the sealed hallway near 313, things changed. The air was heavier, colder, their equipment failed. And in the footage that survived, something was caught in the doorway of room 313, something humanoid, watching, unmoving. When they opened the door, they found the bed still bolted to the floor, untouched. In the middle, a deep, human-shaped impression in the mattress. No one knows who the man was. No records. No fingerprints. Just stories. Some say he was a failed experiment from early electroshock therapy trials. Others believe he wasn't human at all, just something pretending to be. Room 313 is still there today, boarded up. Locals say at night, if you stand outside the building, you can still see a light flicker inside that hallway, and sometimes a shadow crosses the window. Number 3, the elevator game. It seems like an urban legend, but people still try it alone at night in buildings with at least 10 floors. It's called the elevator game, a Korean ritual said to open a doorway to another dimension. The rules are precise. You enter the elevator alone, press a sequence of floors in a specific order. On the 5th floor, a woman may enter. Do not look at her. Do not speak to her. If you do, she may keep you. If you reach the 10th floor, the elevator is supposed to open into another world. Dark, lifeless, and once you're there, the elevator might not bring you back. People who claim they've done it describe hearing voices, static buzzing, seeing shadowy figures in the hallway. Some say they made it back. Others were never heard from again. CCTV footage of missing persons shows them riding elevators alone, pressing strange combinations, then nothing. Still think it's just a game? Number 4, the woman who lived in the walls. When strange things go missing in your house, you blame forgetfulness. But what if you're not alone? In 2008, a man in Japan noticed his food disappearing daily, even when he locked the fridge. He installed a hidden camera. What he saw chilled him. In the middle of the night, a woman crawled out of a cupboard above his kitchen. She walked barefoot across the floor, ate his food, used his shower, then crept back into the wall. She had been living there, undetected for months. No sound, no trace, just watching. Police found bedding, water bottles, even a journal. She entered the home when the owner left his door unlocked once. But this isn't an isolated case. In the US, a Colorado family found a man living in their crawl space. In Ohio, a woman discovered a hidden room behind her mirror with evidence someone had been living there. You think your home is safe, but have you ever checked inside your walls? Number 5, the smiling man. It was just after midnight when he saw him. A man walking down the empty street, arms limp, feet dragging, but his face, smiling. Not a friendly smile, not joy. A stretched, unnatural grin, like his face forgot how to stop. The witness crossed the street, but the man followed. Still smiling, no words, no blinking. Just a wide-eyed grin and jerky, puppet-like steps. The witness began to run, and he says the man did too. His feet scraping the pavement, his body twitching like something learning how to move. When he looked back, the smiling man was gone. This isn't just one story. Hundreds have reported sightings of a similar figure, always at night, always smiling. Some say he's a creature that mimics humans poorly. Others think he's a hallucination triggered by sleep paralysis or stress, but the fear feels real, and the smile, it never changes. If you see him, don't smile back. Number 6, the phone that called after death. In 2011, Charles Peck was in a deadly train crash near Los Angeles. His body was found hours later. But something strange happened in the time between the crash and the recovery. His phone kept calling his family. Over 35 calls were made to his son, his brother, even his fiancée. But every time they answered, there was only static on the line. When they tried calling back, it went straight to voicemail. This went on for hours. His loved ones clung to hope, believing he might still be alive, trying to reach them. But when emergency crews pulled his body from the wreckage, they determined he had died on impact, and his phone, it was never found. The calls stopped the moment his body was discovered. To this day, no one can explain how the phone made those calls. Was it a malfunction, a glitch, or something reaching out from the other side? Sometimes technology doesn't lie, and sometimes it speaks when the dead cannot. So the next time your phone rings from an unknown number, you might want to think twice before answering. Number 7, the house that vanished. In 2007, a man driving through rural Tennessee claimed he stumbled upon a small house that wasn't there before. It sat deep in the woods, aged but intact, windows unbroken, lights faintly glowing from within. Curious, he approached. The air around the house felt dense, unnaturally still. He looked through a side window and saw a family sitting at a table, completely motionless. Their eyes were open, but they didn't blink, didn't move. Just sat there, frozen in place. He knocked on the door, no response. As fear crept in, he turned and ran back to his car. But when he returned the next morning with police, the house was gone. No debris, no foundation, just overgrown trees and leaves. Locals claimed there had once been a house in that area. Decades earlier, a family that mysteriously vanished in the 1950s. Search parties never found them. Some say the house appears on foggy nights to lure wanderers in and never lets them leave. The driver never went back. Sometimes it's not the ghosts that haunt the land. Sometimes it's the buildings themselves. And if you ever see a house where none should be, keep driving